channel. I'm gonna be having my lovely assistant Subi today. I can see him coming over here. You know that he wants to be part of this video, so we're just gonna roll with it. So, as most of you know, I just got back from a Boston trip. I wanted to do a really unique wizardy themed trip also while I was spending time with my family. I am from the Boston area. I grew up in Melrose, and I try to get back there and visit my family. And since I was bringing my entire family this time, my daughter's a big Harry Potter fan. She loves wizardy things and whatnot. We thought it would be very exciting to not only hike Mount Greylock. I do have another video about that, which I will link in the description if you want to know more about that. It's supposedly the home of Ilvermorny School of Magic, which is the only school of magic in the US, in North America. And we spent a day heading out east to go head home where I'm from, and to also set ourselves up for a fun day in Salem. Out of respect to a lot of the shop owners in Salem, and a good note to keep in mind if you decide to visit, is that you are not allowed to record or take photos in every single shop. Between that and me wanting to actually get to enjoy my trip and be present with my family, I did not take as much video on this trip. Instead, I decided that I would do a recap video and give you guys some pointers and kind of my top 10 list of things that I highly recommend you take advantage of. First thing I will say when visiting Salem is to plan early. Now, we went in the off season. We did go in the spring, which I felt was a wonderful time. It was in the mid 70s. It was sunny. It was beautiful. We lucked out with no rain. You might not always have that in the spring, fall, or winter. The other tip I will give you is if you choose to book a hotel there, book early, especially if you are going in the fall season. You may have to book a year or more in advance. There's not a lot of places to stay in Salem. The hotels are small. There's a limited number of Airbnbs. Do not wait until last minute to plan, especially if you are not going to have a car as an option. Which brings me to my next tip. If you're going in the off season, do check all of the hours and everything. Make sure that any specific shops or restaurants or museums that you do want to visit are actually open. In the off season, they may have alternate hours or they may be completely closed for the season. So make sure you check that. If you are going to drive, I will say this, parking is not super fun in Salem. It does not seem to be a lot of places to park. You're probably gonna end up paying to park if you can find a spot, okay? If you can book in advance, I would say that it is worthwhile to try to stay in Salem. You're gonna be doing a lot of walking, and you are gonna be visiting a lot of different shops and restaurants and stuff like that. Even when you're in Salem, we just spent one day there. We did stop at multiple shops and restaurants. We still put in about 13,000 steps, guys. So you are going to be doing a lot of walking. I would highly recommend that if you can stay there, it's worthwhile because you can break up your day. You can take little breaks if you need it. If the weather's not great, you can stay in the hotel. I just think that it is worthwhile versus trying to stay someplace else for a little bit cheaper, having to Uber everywhere, and then being stuck without a vehicle or without a place to stay and all of that walking to do. Plan your trip, okay? Or get a travel agent. As you guys know, I am a travel agent. I can help you plan your trip and come up with a little bit of a game plan. I would not go to Salem blind, meaning I would not just go there and say, we're just gonna wing it, okay? If you're staying there and you're gonna have a few days there, maybe you can get away with that. But there is so much more to see than people think. There is the Salem Witch Trials Memorial. There is the cemetery where you can see a lot of really big historical names buried. There are tons and tons of museums, restaurants, shops, and so much to look at. If you do not have a game plan, it is really easy to miss really, really cool, important things. Plan your trip. Go see the Hocus Pocus filming locations. There are quite a few of them there, and they're pretty spread out. So you're gonna wanna know where you're going, and you're gonna wanna plan it. Take time to visit all of the shops, okay? Some of our favorites were Winot's Wand Shop. It had very much a Hocus Pocus Harry Potter vibe. It was so much fun. My daughter snagged an original, like, one-of-a-kind wand there. The woman that works at that shop, Rose, is so unique and such a wonderful soul. You will have so much fun stopping in there and chatting with her. There is also a Harry Potter themed store for those who do like that as well. In terms of restaurants, I highly recommend Bit Bar, especially if you're traveling with some people that just want to let loose and have fun. It was giving 80s vibes. There were arcade games everywhere. If you like really good food or you want a little bit more fancy vibe, then I highly recommend something like Finn's or Longboard. They still have a really fun vibe, but they're not quite as chill or laid back as Bit Bar. Bit Bar is very much a gaming restaurant type bar. There is also the first candy shop in the United States in Salem. I don't feel like as many people talk about that, so that's something that might be worth visiting as well. Make sure you walk around and grab coffee. There's so many good coffee shops and all kinds of juice bars and things like that. Take your time. Take in all of the settings, right? You have the 7 House of Gables there. You have so many historical homes that were built or housed some of the first settlers, people that came over. So really take your time, and I highly recommend stopping by the info center. When you get there, they will give you a free map and they will kind of help you. They have a list of all the Hocus Pocus filming locations. I don't feel like a lot of people take advantage of that. Even though we had a game plan in mind, it really helped to sit down and talk to somebody. She helped us orientate ourselves. She helped us get some direction in our brain, so we knew on the map, this was that way, this was that way. We knew which way was going to take us to which different locations. In terms of the museums and things like that, full disclosure, we did not take a lot of time to do that. If it was a smash or pass situation, I would probably pass on the Witch Museum at this time right now, mainly because I have heard mixed feedback on it not being quite as updated as it could be, or not being fully worth the price, but I definitely encourage you to form your own opinion and go if that is important to you. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. I just wanted to give you some tips and tricks. Again, my travel agent services are completely free. So if you or anyone you know is thinking of planning a trip to Massachusetts and you'd like to visit Mount Greylock or Salem, I have done the trip and I can speak to it and help plan. And of course, the services are complimentary. Please like and subscribe, and we will have more trips coming up soon. Ciao!